and they're going, hang on, do you guys not go to a canteen?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? And I remember being told that and saying, the realization of Christ, these kids are being really institutionalized into thinking, this is the life. And then
Exactly.
on from that story, that it was actually an adult was saying, I mean, he was an adult male, and he said when he came out of direct provision, he got a flat or whatever else, got himself a job. And then, kind of the excitement of it all, filled up the presses, the fridge, and all the rest of it. And then about 5 or 6 days later, got up to make his coffee and was standing in front of the fridge. And it took him a good 5 minutes to figure out why there was no milk in the fridge.
Yeah,
Because
exactly. Because he's so used to
go to the shop and buy milk.
Yeah.
Tea bags. He's like the stupidest things, toilet paper. He was like, the stupidest things. You suddenly are kind of going, what everyone else would say is completely normal, and they think you're a bit crazy.
Exactly.
To remind myself to buy milk and bread and and normal everyday stuff, because it's not just going to reappear every morning like it does in the canteen.
Literally, once you get out, I mean, you are learning from scratch how to live independently, and that is so true. And what I remember we used to see a lot in the center was people who have left constantly coming back to spend hours and hours, in there, like, just visiting.
They're completely institutionalized.
They didn't know what to do with their lives. Honestly, they'll tell you that, I don't know what to do. I don't even know anyone out there, I don't know how to do this and that. But I found that myself as well. Like when you go to the shop, you have to learn which aisle where what is, how to buy certain things, how to budget for something as simple as that. When you come out of TP, you don't even know, how much coffee costs, for example, how much a kilo of meat costs, how much rice, because those things that you'd expect a grown adult to know, you're having to learn from scratch how to be human again, like how to be an adult again. It's
for women, and especially mothers in DP, we know now the white paper is out. I'm sure you've had a good chance to have a look at it. Do you think there's enough done there? Do you think there's enough done for women and children? Do you think there's enough focus in the white paper around these issues that we've talked about? And there's even more. I mean, we've covered only a few. Do you think there's enough done in that white paper for this?
Unfortunately, now, I mean, I haven't had a chance to really go through the white paper, right? Okay. But one thing I can tell you straight up is that it doesn't matter what reforms they put in place or what provisions they put in place. It will never be enough, because what we need to see is that autonomy being given back to people. Let people live independently, end of story. Yeah. Give a person their own accommodation, whatever the allowance that you're giving them, whether it's the same as the current social welfare payment, give them that, allow them to go to Tesco themselves. Yeah. Or to Aldi, or to wherever they choose to go.
The other thing that a lot of people don't seem to know about as well is this point system. Yeah. That a lot of centres have, and they feel, Mosney's fine, so they can cook for themselves. And then I mean, the reality is, okay, if you're in a self-catering space, yes, you can cook for yourself, but if you're on a point system, you're at the mercy of the centre as to what they have in their shop.
Exactly.
If that is part of your traditional cooking or not, it probably isn't. And then you're at the mercy of whatever prices they want to put on stuff. And there's no transparency or accountability there. There's no kind of
none whatsoever.
This is what has to be it. I mean, my question from the day that I found out about the whole point system, I could never understand why it was there, because I was like, why do people not have the chance, or do they not trust people enough to go to Aldi or Lidl or Tesco's and find the food they want to cook? I mean, if you're like, I mean, for me, if you're an adult woman, mother with children, you are going to know the basics of what you cook.
And besides that, I mean, if you want to buy 10 boxes of cornflakes and eat 10 boxes of cornflakes that week, that should be up to you. That's none of anyone's business. No one should dictate to you that this is what's, this is what you're going to have this week. It's essentially the same as having a canteen, honestly speaking, because they have scaled those points to be exactly what they want you to have. So they know that out of those points, you're probably going to get a kilogram of rice. You're going to get one steak, 2 tomatoes, 1 green pepper.
I mean, on top of that, then is the problem around accountability of fresh produce and everything else. Because I know we've heard so many reports of, everything is literally
stale food. Yeah.
If you buy fruit today, it's going to be dead by tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But you have no choice in the matter, because you have to use your points to buy the food, or then you're just going to be stuck and start again next week. Yeah. So you're at the mercy of whatever they feel like putting into their shop. And I suppose for me, in the white paper, it's around that is not being addressed. I mean, yes, great. You're going to go into self-catering. They're talking about this two-tier kind of two different levels, of accommodation. But there's still no talk around, the fact that it's going to be self-catering even in DP centres. But where's the food going to come from? Where is the transparency around, the choice of food and who is going to be in charge of it? And if the food is not up to standard, who is going to be held accountable?
Exactly. Yeah, you see, this is why we keep on saying, that we don't want a system that's going to come in to replace the direct provision system only by name. It has to be fully independent, where the individual is making the choices themselves. The individual is deciding where they are doing their shopping. The individual is deciding when they're cooking. All that has to be up to the individual. It shouldn't be managed by a third party or by someone else. That's what you would truly call independent living. Not absolutely. A situation whereby
for parents, what I mean? That you are saying, yes, I trust that you know how to cook for your child, or that you know how to care for your child. Because you are just providing a canteen, or you're providing an on-site shop with points. It's almost like you're telling these parents, well, we don't trust you to feed your children. So
basically, that's it. I don't even think it's an issue of trust. I think it's that whole oppression mentality, that whole those racist policies that just hold this together. That's what it is. It's that system of control.
Yeah, I mean, would you think it's fair to say that the system is almost put in a way to nearly break you as a parent, rather than build you up and support you?
Yeah, definitely.
When you look at children, I would say from pregnancy to birth and beyond, that it's not built in a way that's healthy and supportful for the mother, for the child, for the whole situation. Because as a woman, you're not being supported in the most basic way. You're literally just being given extreme basics.
Yeah, I think the system was not designed, in the first place, it was not designed to care about the human behind it. It was not designed to care about the mother or the child or the father that's in the system. It is a profit-making system. We know that for a fact. That's what it was designed to do, just to keep people out of sight, out of mind, until a time comes that they are either deported or they're finally accepted and given that, that paper to say, yes, you can now finally go on and live your life. So it's just, that's why even when you're in the asylum process, you're allocated a number. You're never addressed by name. It's always by that reference number. It's not a person-centered, system. It doesn't care about the human behind it. It's all about how does it work to keep the policies that in place working. How does it work to keep the businesses that are behind it functioning? It has nothing to do with the human.
Okay. And lastly then, the same question I would ask anyone. I asked Lucky the same thing. What can we as a group do? What could we do as a group to support women in DP more, to allow the amplifying of women's voices, and to give them support to really kind of, you know, to feel that they have. What can we as a group do more of?
That was actually going to be my answer, to keep on amplifying the voices. I think that's the most important thing really that you can do, because people need to be hearing those human accounts, those human experiences, and realizing that the headlines that you see out there are not, you know, the daily lives that people are living. That's not the reality of what's being said. For example, we recently heard the announcement there from the minister that, you know, they'll be providing sanitary products for people in direct provision. But then the question becomes, what quality is those sanitary products that are going to be provided? Because at the end of the day, who's informing, you know, the products that are going to be provided? So let's not be misguided by the headlines. The headlines are great, but listen to what's actually happening on the ground. If there's talk about supports that are being put in place, find out from those people that are being affected, how is that working out for you? Is it even working out? Has it been implemented? Because people most of the time, I can guarantee you, people in direct provision don't know that, you know, this and that has been put into place. They don't know. So someone needs to be talking to them, finding out what their experiences are, and then helping them to amplify their voices, helping them to make sure that they're heard, that this is not actually, you know, our, you know, our reality. This is not how we are living. This is, in fact, you know, what's happening to us. This is how we are suffering, or this is, you know, what we're struggling with. And then obviously that would inform, you know, whatever campaigns or whatever, you know, advocacy work that we do or that you guys do going forward. It has to be informed by what the people in the system are actually experiencing.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you so very much. We really.
And I'm sorry, it just went dark. My electricity.
I was just thinking there. It just literally went dark outside my window.
Oh no, our power went out as we were speaking. I think it's because of the storm over the last few days. So I had to turn on the flashlight.
When needs must, women always find a way. That's it. But listen, thank you so much, and we wish you the very best in your final semester. Well done, you for getting there. I'm sure you're going to fly through it. We look forward to speaking to you again soon, hopefully, and collaborating with Massey, obviously. And you know, anything we can do in future together, we look forward.
Oh yes, and please do check out our iPad So I Can Drive. That Every Child Is Your Child is currently running. So we're trying to get a tablet to every child in the direct provision system. That's one of the things that, you know, you won't hear anyone speaking about as well. But these children are being left behind. You know, their schoolwork is suffering because they're not able to access online school. So these tablets are a huge investment in the education of the children.
And that's what Every Child Is Your Child, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. We know that even if you know, the kids go back to school, if a child gets a fever, they get a cough, or they have a close contact, they still have to isolate.
But we're moving towards a more technical time anyway. We all have, and I think that's going to be part of the future anyway. So I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you, Million, and we chat soon, hopefully. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, me.
Take care.
All right.